Hello everybody, well this is the last part, the home straight of the build of the Mercury Matador. As you can probably see here, the wings and the horizontal stab are done. I need to modify the latter to actually produce an elevator. We'll have a think about that. But the last thing to actually make is the fin and the rudder assembly. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and extend the rudder by a little bit more, and that'll mean I'll have to make these parts slightly larger. Not a great deal, but just a little bit more. And they basically, as is the case with this kit, come in thick chunks of wood that you have to cut out. So I'll crack on with that and we'll get this laid up. And I've selected to make the framing some lightweight, but it's still quite stiff, 3/16 square. Let's crack on and get that done. Well, that's the parts roughly cut out. I've allowed some surplus on the what will become the rudder. We might as well take advantage of that. And as a result, I've left about the same amount on some of these parts. We'll get it pinned out and glued on. Get this planned nice and set. It was disrupted a little bit because the cat decided to lie on it, never mind. And then we'll see what it looks like and how it's going to come together. Onwards and upwards. I've run out of 3/16 square. I'll get another piece out of the box. But as I'm doing this, I've noticed that there's a gusset here, but not one here, and not one here, and not one here. And for the sake of cutting 3 more bits of balsa out, I'm going to add them in each of the corners here. You'll notice that I've left the pieces oversized. The whole thing needs to be sanded down anyway. It's easier to do that in one go rather than to fiddle about and getting them to fit the plan as it is now. So I'll get another piece of 3/16 out to get these parts put in, make some gussets, and then we can lift this off the plan. So that's the fin completed. I've added gussets in each corner and also a strengthener here. There's enough here for the hinges to go into. It needs something to bite into. So let's lift this off. It'll always pull a little bit of the food wrap up as well, but that's easily pulled off. It's better than sticking it to the plan and trying to get the paper off and destroying the plan in the process. Bit of a messy process, but we're there. I'm going to run a little bit of glue along this joint. It's not taken. That's it. Looks a bit of an ugly mess at the moment, but it'll sand up. And that fits on like that. Quite a tall fin, isn't it? Rudder. Yeah, adequate there for a rudder. And underslung part. Like so. So I'll clean this up, we'll give it a tidy, and then we'll have a look at how the whole lot's going to come together to wrap this up, I think. We'll do a final review of the build. Okay, so there we have it. That's the Matador, completed, but not finished. It needs a lot of work in terms of sanding it down, but the weather's so inclement at the moment, that's not going to happen. There's other little bits to do to this. The front underside of the cowl hasn't been boxed in. I'll box that in, but still allow access to the engine. This area here, on advice from Jonathan Turner, who's a subscriber, and he chats to us about vintage models, he recommends that this is boxed in as well, because he has two of these that he flies real old school. And he says invariably your fingers go through the covering if you don't box this in. I need to work out how I'm going to operate the radio control. The rudder's fairly straightforward. I think I'll go with pull-pull because it's a little bit more elegant. You can see that I've completed the underfin and added that on. And you can clearly see the extension to the rudder here. But I want to put an elevator in. And I know that you can fly these single channel, but I like the operation of the elevator simply for the climb phase. You can control it and stop it getting too dramatic in the model looping over at the top of you. So for the tiny amount of weight that's going to be involved, I think I'll go with that. Covering, well, I'm going to cover it in Solatex because I've run out of Doculam, and I have plenty of Solatex lying around, all different colours, and then I looked in the box and what perfect colours for a Matador. Blood and sand of the bull ring. So that's the colours that this is going to be covered in. I think the model will handle the extra weight. Whether the engine will have the grunt to get it up there is a different matter. It's a Frog 1.5. If it doesn't work out, I can change it for something a little bit more powerful. So if you can get flying, please do so. The chances in the northeast of England are very slim. But if you can't, why not get creative and do a little bit of model building? If you've enjoyed the journey so far, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please think about doing so. Bye for now.